A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
The Fruitless Fig Tree, a drama of understanding and judging others, based on a teaching from the greatest life ever lived. Our story begins in the town of Capernaum. It's late afternoon, and the Apostle Peter walks along a narrow, winding street, when he's suddenly aware of two voices quarreling.
I'll ask you once more, Philip, will you come home as I say?
What for?
Because I tell you to, and I'm your mother.
You can't make me.
Oh, if only your father were alive. But I'll get someone to help me.
Oh, go ahead.
I will. You, sir, would you help me with this good-for-nothing son of mine?
Me? What is it you want me to do?
You're big and strong. Make him come home with me before he gets into worse trouble. Hit him if you have to. That's what he needs. Someone who can force him to do the right thing. I can't.
I could ask him.
Oh, asking him won't help. He's too wild. He runs around with the worst boys in this town, stealing from the merchants in the marketplace, annoying decent people.
It's a lie.
You won't say your mother lies. Do you hear? I won't stand for it after all I've done to try to bring you up properly. I don't know what to do anymore.
Please, Mother. Let me talk to the boy.
I tell you, talk won't help him. He must be beaten in order to understand.
Nobody's ever going to beat me again.
Pretty strong, aren't you?
What about it?
You think that because you're stronger than your mother, you don't have to obey her?
I've obeyed her long enough.
You see, he's growing up to be a criminal. A criminal. Someday they'll stone him, send him to the galleys. He's got to be punished while there's still time.
You can't beat goodness into anyone. Look, son.
What do you want?
It's being strong and thinking that makes you right. It doesn't always work out.
It works for me.
Does it? Hit me.
What?
Go on, hit me. You're strong. You're tough and hard. Hit me.
What are you trying to do?
I'm just asking you to hit me. Go on.
If you really want me to.
Is that your hardest blow?
Well, yeah.
It didn't hurt me. Now, if I were to hit you...
Wait, don't please.
You see, if strength is what makes right, then the next man who comes along and is stronger than you is right. And you're wrong, just because he said so.
Well,
And since I'm stronger than you are, I could tell you to do anything I want you to. And you'd have to do it, according to your own rules. But I'm not going to tell you to do anything. Because big and strong as I am, I don't believe in that. Since I started to follow the Master, I know that strength does not make right.
You're one of the Master's followers?
Yes. My name is Peter.
Peter. Say, I've heard of you.
And so have I. If you follow the Master, you must know how wrong my son has been, how bad a life he's led, stealing and fighting. Wouldn't the Master himself want this worthless son of mine punished?
I don't know.
Well, he teaches right, goodness, honesty, all the things that my son is not.
He teaches more, too. He teaches us not to judge too quickly or without understanding all the factors in the things you judge. I can remember, not so long ago, that he told us all a parable. A parable would do you good to hear, just as he told us.
A certain man had a fig tree planted, and he came and sought fruit thereon.
my fig trees, young man. And yours will be a position of great responsibility. For in all this part of the land, no one raises better figs than I. Do you think you can fill a job as gardener on my estate?
Oh, yes, sir. I think I can. All my life I've lived on farms. I've worked hard. I've had good experience.
I want to warn you, Nathan, that I'm a strict man, a perfectionist. And that once, each harvest season, I demand that all of my gardeners bring me the choicest fruits and grains they raise. If they're not up to my standard, well, I don't have any man on my estate who can't produce the finest. You understand?
Yes, Abner, I understand.
Well, then, you think you can fill the job, move into the little cottage on the other side of the vineyard. It's yours.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. My wife and I, we haven't been married very long. The cottage will be our first real home together. So, you see, I've got to make good.
Well, I hope you do. Now, get along and get settled, and the first thing tomorrow I'll show you around the vineyard and acquaint you with your duties.
Yes, sir.
Is this dish placed right there?
Yes, Nathan. Our prized dish. My grandmother's gift to my mother when she was married. The only thing I could save. Now to place it on the shelf of our home. Our first home.
No, you said you weren't going to talk about it.
Can I ever forget? When I was a child and I heard these things, I thought it was history, something in the past. There can be no war again in our land, I thought.
No war. This land is destined to be the battlefield of nations forever. The Egyptians, the Philistines, the Syrians. So it has gone, and so it will go. When the invaders come in, you carry what you can, bury the rest, and escape into the hills.
And then when you come back where your house used to be, it's nothing but ashes. The last real home I ever had. And I was only 9.
Please, dear, don't think about it. We have a home now. We'll keep it forever.
You think you can fill the job of gardener?
Oh, I know it. Growing things are like a part of me. To see them grow and ripen is the most satisfying thing I know. I'll make good, Ruth. I will.
And we'll stay here always?
Please, dear, I told you. This is our home. You don't have to worry anymore. Nothing will take this from us.
If you're as good a man as Eli was with fig trees, you won't have any trouble. I lost a fine gardener when he died.
I'll do my best.
Now, look about here very carefully. See? All good fruit-bearing trees. I want them kept that way.
Of course.
Now then, what's this?
Well, this tree at the end of the row?
Yes.
It doesn't seem to have any fruit.
Indeed it doesn't. Take it out.
It looks like a healthy tree.
But it isn't bearing fruit. Take it out.
But it's a tree that's reached maturity. It will bear fruit.
What it will do, I don't know. What it's doing now, I do know. It's taking up valuable space on my land, and it's giving me nothing in return. I say take it out.
I think you're being hasty,
Don't
sir.
tell me what you think. Just do as I say.
But after allowing it to grow for 3 years, is it right to tear it up by the roots now? At least give it another chance, another season in which to produce.
What makes you think it will ever produce?
Well, sir, look at the way it's been kept. Probably because it's the last tree in the line. Weeds, the soil so dry that you can tell it hasn't been watered properly. A tree needs care and attention. Water, soil turned up often. It just can't grow anywhere and under any conditions.
So you think you can teach me how to care for growing things? This whole estate. Did I get it by not knowing what to do? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Well, I didn't say
You
that.
implied it?
No, sir.
You as good as said I was wrong, didn't you?
Please, Abner, I only tried to say that this tree hasn't had a fair chance to show whether it can bear fruit or not. And I hate to root up any growing thing that's healthy. I couldn't be honest with you if I didn't tell you this.
I see. You know, Nathan, you're the first gardener I've ever had who wants to run things according to his own personal likes and dislikes. Usually they take my orders. But as long as you insist on being an exception, we'll make a little bargain. You and I.
Bargain, sir?
Yes. You say this tree here hasn't borne fruit because it hasn't had a chance. I say this tree is a worthless parasite on my land. We'll find out which one of us is right.
You'll give the tree a chance?
That's only part of the bargain.
Why, what do you mean?
You'll have your chance to take care of this tree. If it bears fruit under good care, I'll reward you in some way. But if it turns out that I was right, and this tree is worthless, then you'll have to be looking for a new place.
But, sir...
Do I make myself clear?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now get to work. And maybe next time you won't be so quick to correct your superiors.
Don't you like the meal, dear?
Oh, I didn't say anything, did I?
But you're not eating.
I don't feel like it, that's all.
You could tell me.
Tell you what?
Well, if there's something wrong, you could tell me.
Wrong? Who said there was anything wrong?
Well, then you don't have to become so angry.
Oh, yes, there is something wrong. Why I ever thought I could keep it from you, I don't know.
You've done something? Abner is displeased?
It wasn't wrong. No matter what happens, it wasn't wrong.
What do you mean, no matter what happens? What could happen?
Oh, I had no right to do it. I had no right to jeopardize your security. About myself, I don't care, but I should have thought of you. I should have swallowed my pride. Should have said that I was wrong.
Not if you thought you were right. That wouldn't be honest.
You don't know what might happen. You may have to leave here, Ruth.
Leave here? But you said that...
Sure, I said. But I forgot what I said. When Abner told me to take out the fig tree, I should have done it instead of telling him it needed water and care.
But you didn't. And I'm glad.
Glad? Even though it means we may have to move from here, go out on the road again looking for a place to work, a place to live?
If you believed you were right not to tear it up, I'm glad you said so. I don't want you to be a slave to what I feel. Don't surrender your right to be a man just to keep a roof over my head. I won't ask that of you ever.
I know what it means to you.
If we have to leave, we'll leave. That's all. That's all there is to it.
Ruth. Please, dear, I know how you feel.
Nathan, I'm sorry I began to cry. Couldn't help it.
Oh, if there were anything I could do, but there isn't. I offended Abner, and he was quick to resent it. It isn't though I had a hand in making the bargain. I had no choice.
I know. And as long as it's made, there's only one thing for us to do.
We won't leave.
But I didn't mean we should run away. I meant that we ought to do our best to save that tree. If what you said is true, that it can be saved.
You mean you'd help me?
And why not? It's our marriage, our home. Why shouldn't we both work for it?
Then we will.
We could start right now.
No, at night?
You said the tree needs water. We'll give it water, day and night. We'll work for what we both want, and we'll start now.
Here are 2 more skins of water, Ruth.
You should rest a while. It's a long walk from the well to the vineyard. And with 2 heavy bags of water.
Now, don't worry about me. I'm used to hard work. But you should have been in bed hours ago.
These will be the last 2 bags.
Then let me pour them. You rest.
Oh, I can do it. I'm strong enough.
You're not nearly as strong as you are determined. Here, now let me do it.
All right.
Fruit must grow. It must.
It will.
Oh, if only I hadn't said anything.
It's too late to look back now. You said it. We'll work hard. The fruit will grow.
Ruth.
Yes.
It wouldn't be fair to make you feel so sure that disappointment might be too great.
Disappointment?
There are trees that never bear fruit.
Barren trees?
Yes, I've seen some during my time on the farm. No one knows why. They seem perfectly healthy, but somehow they never bear fruit.
Is this one of them?
You never know. Time's the only way to find out. Time and proper care.
We'll do what we can.
I only wanted you to know what might happen. I wouldn't want you to feel betrayed or disappointed in me. The last thing in the world I'd want would be for you to suffer because of me.
I know that you love me, Nathan. And because I do, I know everything else you're trying to tell me. Whatever it is, we'll face it together. Now, if you're finished, we can go back to the cottage.
Back home, you mean?
Yes, dear. Back home. For your lunch, Nathan. If you don't drink it soon, it'll get warm.
Just a little while, dear. The earth must be turned over around this tree, and I want to finish it before I stop.
Has anything changed in the past 2 weeks?
Well, nothing that I can see.
Usually it takes more time, doesn't it?
Well, you can't tell.
You mean if there were going to be fruit, some signs might have appeared already?
Oh, I don't know. You can't tell about things like this.
But it doesn't look too good.
Now, please, dear.
Stop and have your milk, Nathan.
Well, maybe I'd better.
Here. You'll work better after you've had a cool drink.
Yes, Oh.
What is it, Nathan?
He's coming this way.
Abner?
Yes, he's coming here on his usual inspection. Maybe you'd better leave. Go that way so that you won't have to pass him.
I'll go.
Just a moment. I wanted to meet you, my dear.
Oh, me?
Come here, Ruth.
So this is your wife, Nathan?
Yes, sir. My wife, Ruth.
Fine-looking girl. And from what I've heard, a great help to her husband.
You heard?
Yes. In a way, it was funny, too. 2 people had been seen prowling around the vineyards at night. I had Ephraim posted one night to watch and see if they might be people who would mean some harm. But I heard it was you and your husband.
There's nothing wrong.
Oh, but 2 grown people sitting up with a sick fig tree. Well, doesn't that amuse you? Even a little? Huh?
It's not funny to my husband and me.
Ruth, please.
Now, let's have a look at it. More leaves. Thicker foliage.
We've done what we could.
But let's see. Fruit. I don't see any fruit.
It takes time.
There should be some signs, at least, if a fig tree is going to produce in season. It should be showing something by now. Isn't that right, Nathan? You know all about trees. Tell me.
Yes, sir. It should be showing signs, and it isn't. I may be wrong. This tree may never bear fruit. But I still wouldn't feel I'd done my job if I'd let you uproot it.
Of course, of course. And I only want to remind you that when we have the harvest feast, you and all the other gardeners will have to come and show your produce. I'll be on the lookout for the fruit from this tree. Need I say more?
No, sir. I understand.
Good day, Nathan. And good day to you, my dear.
Nathan. Oh, Nathan.
Time, I invite all my servants to eat, drink, and celebrate the blessings we draw from the soil. But first, before we celebrate, we shall take an accounting of the results of the season's work. All gardeners are to line up here with samples of their finest produce. And now, first, you, Simeon, samples of the grain from your field.
Abner, for 34 years I have been bringing my produce to the head of this family. Your grandfather, your father, and now you. And I can say that never have I shown finer grain than this.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, pick up a handful, Abner. Feel its firmness and its weight.
Yes, I can see. There, very good, Simeon. Excellent.
Thank you, sir.
Simeon, there will be a special reward for you later.
Thank you, sir.
Next. Jonathan. The olives?
Yes, sir. The olives here in this bowl. First look at them, then test them for oil. I have no more to say.
You feel sure of your crop?
Oh, I only ask you to put them to the test. Examine one.
I will. Excellent. So full of oil. When you press one of these olives, it's like tipping a jar. The oil flows freely. Very fine. Next. Well, who's next? Nathan, my big gardener. Step up, Nathan. Show me what you have produced.
Well, yes, sir. Here, I'll uncover this tray of figs. Would you taste these, sir?
Mm-hmm. Let me see. This one. Yeah. Good. Very good. As good as we had last year.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, but wait. You and I have a special bargain, don't we? There were some special figs in which I was interested. The very tree which you and your wife have cared for. Have you any figs to show from that?
The fruit of that tree, sir, is here, in this other tray.
Let me see. I don't believe it.
Look, taste.
Let me have one of those. Well, they're big. Even bigger than the others.
Yes, sir. And the taste...
Never mind. I think you're playing a trick on me.
No, sir, if you'd like to see the...
I would indeed. And if this is a trick, you'll be punished accordingly. Come with me. And you too.
You can see, Abner. Here it is. And the branches are hung heavy with fruit. Is this a trick?
I can't believe it. Amazing.
We didn't believe it ourselves at first, did we, Ruth?
No. When the fruit first began to appear, we thought it wouldn't grow. We thought it would die on the branches. But it didn't. The harder we worked, the larger and firmer the fruit became. Till now, this tree is the finest fruit of all.
And I laughed at the two of you. I was going to make you leave my estate for trying to correct me. And all the while, I was wrong. Well, we must make up for that.
It's all right, then. We won't have to leave.
Leave? A man who can raise such fruit from this tree? I'm thinking now of giving you more responsibility, more opportunity to use your talent. A man as courageous as you are to risk your future in order to seek truth is a very valuable man indeed. A man to be trusted.
Thank you, Abner. It's as I said, sir. The fault wasn't in the tree. It was in the conditions under which the tree was raised. When the conditions were improved, the tree produced fruit. All it needed was a chance.
And so you see, my dear woman, that's what the master would say about your son.
A story about a fig tree. What's that to do with my good-for-nothing son?
When the master told that parable, he wasn't talking about fig trees. He was talking about people. All people.
Not my son. What he needs is punishment.
Will you tell me the boy is bad any more than the fig tree was bad?
No.
Well, then the conditions may be to blame. Isn't that so?
True, he didn't have a father for most of his life.
A boy can miss his father in many ways. He can miss a father's guidance and companionship.
I know. And with my having to work to keep us alive, well, I haven't been too good a mother either.
You see, a boy needs love and attention and guidance. Just as a tree needs water, good soil, and care. We can't punish the boy any more than we could cut down the tree without giving it a chance under good conditions. You've got a good boy here, woman. He needs another chance. A fair chance to show how good he is. He needs help, not punishment. And I'll help you with it. We should all be quick to help and not so quick to condemn without understanding. As the master himself would say,
judge not, that ye be not judged. Behold, these 3 years I come seeking fruit on this fig tree, and find none. Let it alone this year also, till I shall dig about it, and water it. And if it bear fruit, well.
Presented by the United States Armed Forces Radio Service.
Tonight we present Whosoever is Angry, a drama based on a teaching from the greatest life ever lived. In the town of Tiberias in Galilee, there's one man respected above all others. His name is Raphael, a kind man, an honest merchant. He enjoys the friendship and goodwill of his fellows. Now, when the work of the day is over, it's Raphael's custom to sit in the protecting shade of the arbor before his house. There he can watch the sunset, feel the stirring of the first breeze of evening. It's a time when a man could be at rest. And yet, this evening, Raphael's uneasy.
Nicholas.
Yes, Raphael?
Are you quite sure he hasn't returned? Well, possibly he's in his room.
No, sir, I've looked there.
Maybe you should have gone with him.
After all, sir, he's not a child. Your son's a man. Young, of course, but still a man. Surely I can't go with him if he insists on going alone.
I know. But it's that temper of his. I always have a feeling he'll get into trouble when he's out of my sight.
Unfortunately, it's always a possibility with your son.
Well, I've done what I can. I wasn't content to have him taught only in a temple school. So I brought you here to teach him the culture of Greece and Rome. I thought knowledge would change him.
Knowledge is for the mind, but wisdom is for the heart and the spirit.
The spirit, eh? I've noticed of late that you talk a good deal about the spirit, Nicholas. Why?
Some think it presumptuous for a slave to discuss such a matter with his master.
You talk that way to me? Nicholas, have I ever treated you as a slave?
No. It's true that though you bought me in a Roman slave market, you've always treated me with respect. Yet this matter, I hesitate to talk to you about it.
Even if I ask you? Even if I promise you won't suffer by it?
Very well, Raphael. I have another master.
Another master? But that's impossible.
He is master for my spirit.
Oh, the Nazarene. Nicholas, you follow him?
You seem surprised.
I thought he teaches only to my people.
He teaches to all who listen and believe. I was even thinking that perhaps your son Samson could profit from his teaching.
You mean it could help him with that violent temper of his?
I think it could. Do I have your permission to talk to him?
If it could help, of course you have my permission. You see, I should hate to pass on and leave him as he is now.
Sir, I never heard you speak of death before.
I have good reason now. I've been told I don't have much time left, and that it may come suddenly. Shock, excitement, anything.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Raphael.
Now you see how important it is to me. I'd like to be sure of the boy before, well, in time, at least.
Then I shall talk to him as soon as I can.
Nicholas, someone has just entered the arbor. Oh, Samson, is it you?
Good day, Raphael. Or should it be good evening?
Oh, Phineas.
You must forgive my intrusion, Raphael. I know you like to be alone this time of day, but there are some matters of business which can't wait.
I said all I have to say to your man when he brought the figs to the marketplace.
You cost me a great deal of money today, Raphael.
I only refused to buy your figs.
Oh, that's all. Hmm? But when the word traveled around the marketplace, no one else would buy them either.
I'm sorry. But I've cautioned you before, Phineas. Give me honest weight for honest coin.
So now you're accusing me of cheating, is that
I put no names to it. Only the next time you send me figs, make sure they're of good quality below the first layer, too. And now I consider this matter was finished in the marketplace.
Hold on. I told you cost me a great deal of money today. What do you intend to do about it?
I am always ready to buy fine figs at an honest price. That is all I can tell you.
Then you don't care about the harm you've done me. You're too proud and important to worry about the likes of me, eh? Well, in that case, maybe I can return your little favor. Maybe I can give you something to worry about. We'll see. Yes, we'll see.
Phineas,
he's gone.
I don't like that man. I don't like the evil things he suggests when he talks that way.
But what could Phineas do to you, sir? Surely you're not afraid of him.
A bitter mind can erupt in strange ways. Somehow, at times like this, I wish Samson were here at the house.
He'll be back by dark. He always is. Wait. I can see him now.
Strange. What is it?
He's not alone.
Not alone? Well, who's with him? Who is that?
No one I've ever seen before.
Samson, son, I've been waiting for you.
Good evening, Father.
You have a guest.
I hope you don't mind, Father. He was a poor man I met at the city gate. He traveled a long way and arrived here penniless and without food.
I thought we could do something for him.
Why, of course. Anything at all, son, for your guests.
Thank you, sir. I came here expecting to find my daughter and her husband, the last of my family. I thought they would take me in, but I find now they've moved on to another place.
Well, you shall rest here and go on when you're able.
Thank you. And bless you for raising so fine a lad as this one. A good heart. Yes, a good heart.
I'll go with him, Father, to see he has everything he wants.
Of course. There, Nicholas. There is the tragedy of it. So fine a lad, and yet there are times... Well, you know how he is at times.
I know, sir. But now maybe I'd better help him make his guest comfortable.
You rest here, sir. I'll have some food brought to you.
Oh, thank you, but perhaps I trouble you too much. I could go to the kitchen for my food.
Oh, not at all. My father's house is a prosperous one. We have servants here to serve our guests.
Samson, is there anything I can do to help?
Oh, yes, Nicholas. Food. Bring my friend here some food while I help make him comfortable.
Of course, sir.
Now then, off with this dusty cloak.
Oh, thank you.
Then I'll pour some water for you. Now, that'll feel good for tired feet.
It will indeed. Thank you, lad. I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't been there at the town gate. My own daughter, my last living child, and she isn't here.
There, now you'll find her. Tomorrow morning we'll go from house to house here. Somebody will know where she and her husband have gone. Don't you worry. Ah, and here's your food now. The outlook will be brighter for you once you've eaten well. Set it down here, Nicholas.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now let's lift the cover up. Nicholas.
Yes, sir.
I don't consider this suitable food for my guest.
I don't know what the cook prepared.
Well, look at it. This is certainly not the same food my father and I shall eat this evening, is it?
Please, sir, there's nothing to become so wrought up about.
I know. You're going to tell me I'm losing my temper. Well, there are times a man should lose his temper. Now, when you insult my guest and you insult me, too, in the very same act, well, I won't stand for it. I won't. Get out, sir. Nicholas. Get out.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you needn't have been so concerned about me, lad. The food that lies there on the floor would have been good enough for me.
I'm sorry you had to see this, sir. I don't know what it is. Everything goes along smoothly enough until something happens. Some small thing like this, and then a fury comes over me. I can't control it. I'm sorry.
The things a man can do in a fury.
That's one good part of it. Nothing serious has ever happened, although... But I'm afraid of the same thing you are. Someday it might be something serious. Well, we've talked enough about me. You'll have to come down with me now and eat with my father and me. I trust it won't tire you too much. And if you can, forget what you just saw here. Please.
Samson, has your guest retired for the evening?
Yes, Nicholas. There were moments there during the meal when I thought he'd fall asleep while eating. He was a tired man. Nicholas.
Yes, sir?
What happened earlier, I hope you won't think too badly of me.
It's not my place to judge.
Oh, that's not so. You've been as close to me as my own father. When I hurt you, I hurt myself.
Then why do you let it happen?
I don't know. I like people. I try to help them, treat them as I'd want to be treated. And then come those moments when I suddenly hate them, grow angry with everyone. Even then, I don't really mean any harm.
And then you regret what you said or done.
Yes.
Samson, if you could change...
Oh, if only I could.
Would you do as I say?
Anything.
Would you go with me to hear the master just one time?
The master? Well, why?
Why not?
I don't know. I don't want to be talked to, lectured to.
Not even if your father wanted it?
One moment now. You mean my father and you have talked about this?
We have.
Well, I don't like that.
We meant you no harm.
I don't like being talked about behind my back. I don't like it at all. And I presume that's what goes on all the time, doesn't it?
Is there anything strange about that? Your father loves you, I love you. We're only seeking your happiness.
No matter how a conversation in this house starts, it always comes to the same point, sooner or later. Now, leave me alone, both of you. I'll work out my own problems in my own way, do you hear?
Please,
you may tell my father that I'm old enough to determine for myself whether I'll go to hear the master. And I won't continue to be treated like a child, do you understand?
I do.
Well, go on and tell him.
I can't do
Nicholas!
that.
My father's treatment of you doesn't change your place in this household. You're still a slave, remember that. You're to do as you're told.
Yes.
Well, don't stand there, go tell him.
Nicholas doesn't have to tell me, Samson.
Father.
I heard what you said. I heard you ring the word slave in Nicholas' face. I didn't like it, Samson.
Well, then he should do as he's told.
I think that you should apologize, Samson.
Are you placing him above me?
I'm trying to have you repair the damage you've done to an old friend. And I apologize.
I will not.
Samson, I've ordered you to...
Father, what is it?
Father!
Come in. Good evening to you, Phineas. The word came to me that you wanted to see me. Yes, come in. Thank you. Well, what bit of dirty business needs doing? Watch out what you say. Well, we don't have to make pretenses, you and I. When you send for me, I have a notion what it's for. Well, I want me a little revenge. Revenge, huh? Well, it's in my line. What kind of revenge? There's a man in this town who's insulted me. Even claimed I'm dishonest. If you wanted to revenge yourself on everyone who said that, you'd have your hands full.
Now, see here,
all right. I like a little joke every so often. Now then, get to the business. I want this man to suffer. I want to see him squirm. But yet it must be accomplished in such a way that no one can blame me. Well, does that suggest anything to that sly mind of yours? It opens a variety of little doors in my mind. Intriguing doors. Ideas could come forth in profusion. But revenge, that's a rather personal matter. I mean to say it should be something that would hurt the individual most because of who he is, what he is. Now, if you tell me his name, it's Raphael. Raphael? That's strange. Oh, what's strange about it? I think fate has anticipated you. Raphael was struck down this evening. Ill. Very ill. What? Yeah, they don't know if he's going to live. I hadn't heard. Well, will it change your mind? Of course not. This may make our task easier. So, think about it a while, eh, Lemuel? Yes, of course. But I have a strange habit, Phineas. I think best with music in my ears. Say, the music coins make when they jingle together. Huh?
Any improvement?
I told you to get some sleep, Samson.
Oh, I just lay there tossing. I thought I'd do better here. How is he?
The same.
I see.
Samson. Son, is that you?
Yes, Father. How do you feel?
I don't know.
Father, would you ever forgive me? It was my fault. What have I done? What have I done to you? If I could only undo it.
Evil is easier not done than undone. There's nothing you can do now for me. But there is one thing you can do for yourself. You are to go with Nicholas.
Leave you?
Yes.
Well, I couldn't do that now.
You listen to me, son. The only thing I want now is some assurance that you will be well, safe. That can never be unless you learn to conquer your fury, your anger. So if you would do anything for me now, you go with Nicholas. See the master. Listen to him. I'd feel better if you did.
If you say so, Father. Many people here, Nicholas. All of them trusting and believing in him.
And now you know why.
Yes. And when I think of the trouble that could have been avoided if only I'd agreed to come sooner.
It's what makes anger so destructive, my boy. The thing we're angry at one moment seems welcome the next. Anger never helps. It only hinders us.
What shall I say to the master when I stand before him? Be humble because of your fault, and hopeful because of your faith. The words will take care of themselves. Look, lad, it's our turn now. Come, Nicholas. There's nothing to fear, lad. Look into his face and speak. Master, I've been here only this one day, but I've heard more wisdom, more love, more kindness spoken here than in all my life before. Perhaps then you have some word which can help one like me. Something that can help to still the fury that rages up in me sometimes. For it has made me do things I would never want to do. Tell me, Master. Tell me. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, Thou shalt not kill, and whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment. But I say unto you, whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment. The master said were just as I told you, Father.
Good. And do you know all that he meant, son?
Nicholas and I, we talked about it. I think I know. Anger and murder, they are the same in a way. For one leads to the other, and no one knows at which moment the change will take place.
So you must work at controlling your anger, my son.
I promise I will.
Promise? I've heard promises before. You must have the will. You must have the strength. You must have the desire to destroy your anger.
I know.
Good. Remember that as you take up my work. For I must turn it over to you now. There will be no more work for me again.
Yes, Father.
I've been waiting for you to get an idea. 1 day, 2, 5. It's been a week now.
Yes.
Well,
Phineas, did you ever think of Raphael's boy, Samson?
Oh, I have nothing against him. It's his father I want to even a score with.
I should have known my brilliant idea would be wasted on you. You have no appreciation for brains, ingenuity, finesse.
What are you getting at?
The boy. And through the boy, the father. We can deal them a double blow that should give you all the revenge you want.
How?
Well, I'll tell you how I got the idea. Sitting here in the inn, watching the lad trudge to and from his father's place of business these past 2 days. Very serious, very businesslike. But we know that lad. Hot-tempered, violent, easily stirred to action. Well, we meet the boy, accidentally, of course. Words pass,
about his father, perhaps, and the lad, true and staunch as he is, rises to his father's defense. What you say angers him to the point of fighting. He lunges for you, and I, in an effort only to protect you, bring this heavy goblet of wine down on his head with, shall we say, crushing effect? How do you like it?
I don't think it'll work. I've heard them talk about the boy in the marketplace. They say he's changed. He's different.
Different? Well, that only means we'll have to provoke him a little further. I know. After the first words pass between you, you seize a cup of wine from the table and fling the contents in his face. Now, surely under such insult, he must retaliate.
Of course. And if the son is badly injured or dies, the shock will kill the father.
Exactly, and nobody can blame us because everybody knows the boy's bad temper. Did you say revenge, Phineas?
Very good, Lemuel, very good. When shall it be?
Why not this afternoon?
Why not?
Phineas, I told you, he comes by here at this time.
Oh, that slave is with him.
Nicholas, yes, every time, but don't worry about him. He's old. He can't stop us.
Now, you'll be ready to hit the boy with your goblet. I wouldn't want him to get in the first blow. He could, he's a husky lad.
Yes, don't worry, so just do as I said. Now, here he comes. I'll stop him, engage him in conversation.
I will. Good afternoon, Samson.
Oh, Phineas. Good afternoon.
Wait, don't go. I want to ask you something.
Come, sir, we must return to the house.
One moment, Nicholas. Phineas, what do you want?
Only to inquire about your father.
He's getting better, thank you.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it. Very glad.
Well, I must admit it's a surprise to hear you speak that way about him.
But why? Because we've had our little differences from time to time? It's nothing. After all, who knows where shrewdness leaves off and dishonesty begins? The old man's a fox, eh?
Are you hinting that my father's dishonest?
No. Come with me.
Go along with your nursemaid, lad.
Why, Yes, I think I'd better go along.
That's better, lad. Now, come.
Finish quick, the wine, of course.
Say there, wait.
Well, what is it now?
You should forgive me, lad, for trying to provoke you. After all, it isn't fair of me to take advantage of a mere boy who's still wet behind the ears.
Is that all you have to say?
That's all I have to say, but that isn't all I have to do with you. You and I will share a cup of wine, eh?
No, thank you. I must be on my way home.
Oh, it won't take long. Lemuel, a cup of wine.
Here, Phineas.
And now, Samson.
Why, you Samson?
Go on, Samson. Say something. Do something. Or has the wine dampened your spirit?
Phineas.
Yes?
Phineas, I find it difficult to do this, but I must do it nevertheless.
Samson, lad, no.
Take your hand off my arm, Nicholas.
Please, go
on.
on.
Let me alone. Phineas, I may be an amusing sight to you now, with wine staining my face, dripping down on my coat. But I thank you.
You thank me?
Yes. This wine, I can wipe it off, wash it away. But I would never have been able to wash away your blood if I'd allowed my fury to go unchecked. Come, Nicholas. I think we can go home now. Nicholas told you? I'd rather he hadn't. You shouldn't worry about such things now.
Now that I know what happened, how you conquered your anger, I don't have to worry. Not anymore. How did it feel, son?
At first I thought the old flames of anger would burn the reason out of my brain. Then I remembered what the master said, and I could see it all clearly. In my anger, I could have destroyed Phineas. Then anger and murder, they would have been the same. You see, murder is in the heart and in the mind before it happens. And each surge of anger is a small murder in itself. Anger like that is worthy of the judgment, even as he himself said.
Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, Thou shalt not kill, and whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment. But I say unto you, whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment.
This has been Whosoever is Angry, another episode in the greatest story ever told from the greatest life ever lived. Story Ever Told was a presentation of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service, the voice of information and education.
The greatest story ever told.
Presented by the United States Armed Forces Radio Service.
Tonight we present A Child in the House, a drama based on a teaching from the greatest life ever lived.
In the town of Jezreel in Galilee, the important merchant Silas is not in the marketplace on this day. And those who ask for him are told that he is at home. There is no further explanation except that Silas is there on a matter of utmost importance. Now at this moment, Silas is giving orders to his servants concerning this important matter.
That will be all in regard to the first meal. Now, this room seems quite suitable. Should please the girl very much. We must remember that. The sole function of every person in this household shall be to please that girl. And foremost in the plan is this. The girl who will arrive has lost her mother very recently.
Silas.
Yes, dear?
Do you think it's proper to discuss that with the servants?
But it's very important, Rhoda. Just let me continue, and you'll see why.
All right, dear.
Well, then, since the child has lost her mother, she is completely orphaned. So, the word mother is not to be used in her presence, nor shall anyone speak of death. We want the child to take up a completely new life here. She must forget her unhappy past, and we must all help her to do that. Is that understood? Of course. Now go about your duties.
Silas.
Yes, dear.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate all this.
You talk as though you didn't expect me to do it.
After all, she was my sister's child. You have no obligation toward her.
Perhaps I was thinking beyond obligations to something else. This may be the answer to that wish that's no longer spoken in this house. Yes, it's my ambition that she shall be our child.
Oh, Silas, if it could only happen.
It will. That's why I've taken such pains with every detail about her arrival. That's why this room, these clothes, the very finest.
I never knew you felt so strongly about it.
But why?
Because we ourselves didn't go to Nazareth to fetch her here. Instead, you sent your steward.
And for very good reason. I've never seen the child. You've seen her only once, a long time ago. So she doesn't really know it. By sending Obadiah to fetch her, it gives him the chance to tell her all about us. So when she sees us, she won't think us complete strangers. She'll feel more at ease with us.
I hope it works out that way.
It will. I thought it all out too carefully to let anything go wrong now. I have my heart set on making her our child, Rhoda. The child will love us.
I hope so. Oh, Silas, the door.
We'll answer it ourselves. I told the servants. Now, give me your hand. We shall go to greet the child together. And, Rhoda, let me kiss her first.
If you wish.
Since she hasn't ever seen me before, it's important I show her that I'm glad to have her here. So come. Now, are you ready, Rhoda?
Yes, Silas.
Good. Now. Obadiah.
Yes, sir.
And this is the girl? Well, Naomi, my dear, how good to see you. Come in. We welcome you here. And as an expression of our feeling, allow me. There, my dear. Well, have you nothing to say?
Silas. Now.
Oh, yes, Rhoda, of course.
Oh, Naomi. Naomi, you poor child, what you've been through. How you must have felt so alone. It must have been such a...
Rhoda, please. Remember what I questioned the servants about before.
Oh, yes.
Well, Naomi, how do you like our house? It's your house now, too. Well, have you nothing to say?
I can't.
Child, what is it? What's wrong?
Silas, perhaps she's tired from the long journey. Let me take her to a room where she can rest.
Rhoda, perhaps you'd best do that.
Come, child, come with me. You shall rest and you'll feel better.
I can't understand it, Obadiah, crying that way. Did I do anything wrong? You did tell her about us, didn't you, Obadiah?
Yes, sir. I spoke, but she didn't listen.
Why, what do you mean?
It's the truth. I spoke, but she didn't hear me. That child lives within herself now.
I see. I had such hope. I wanted everything to go right, but, well, we mustn't be hasty. We must see what happens.
Silas. These past 2 days you've been brooding.
Yes, this thing has weighed on me very heavily. Rhoda, I don't like to say it, but it's a disappointment. The whole thing.
The child?
Yes. I had such hopes of what it might be like. Having a child here, having a child love us. But it isn't that way at all.
Be patient.
I've been patient. You can't even talk to her. At least she doesn't answer. How can you keep on being nice to someone who won't even talk to you?
Perhaps if you were gentler, kinder.
Kinder? Haven't I given her everything a child would want? A fine room, the nice clothes. Hey, maybe that's it. Perhaps there's something else she wants and she's too shy to ask for it. I know. I'll have a talk with her right now.
Be gentle. She frightens very easily, Silas.
I shall be gentle. Come, we'll go to her room. Naomi?
Yes, sir?
Naomi, Well.
Silas, what is it?
Those clothes she wears. My dear child, may I ask what's the meaning of, the clothes you have on? They're the same ones you wore when you arrived. Dusty and ragged.
Yes, sir.
But why? Look about this room. The very finest of clothes here. They're yours. We've given them to you.
Silas, please.
Well, wait, Rhoda. Come here, Naomi. No, don't be afraid of me. Come here.
Yes, sir.
Now, tell me. Don't you like these new clothes we've given you?
I like them.
But yet you don't wear them. You wear these. I don't like to say it, child, but even my servants wear better clothes than these. Now, Rhoda, I shall leave you so you can help the child change to these new clothes.
Oh, no, I won't wear them. I won't.
You mean you prefer these ragged ones?
Yes, sir.
I don't understand it. We provided these clothes just for you. We made sure they were the finest. And you choose to wear this in preference to fine linen and silk? It doesn't make sense. At least try the new ones.
I want my own.
But why?
Because my mother made them.
I see. Well, there's nothing I can do then. Rhoda, at least see the child's clothes are washed and mended.
Please, Silas, you shouldn't feel so discouraged.
But it's been a whole week now that the girl's been here, and still not so much as a word out of her. To me, at least.
She did thank you for everything.
I expected more than thanks. I thought that first there would come appreciation. And then appreciation would ripen into love. Does anything seem more natural? And it's all been different. She still wears her old clothes. New things lie unused, even unappreciated. All because her mother made the old clothes. She still thinks of nothing but her mother.
And why not? The wound is still fresh. The dead are not buried with earth alone. Silas, did you ever think, if we talked to her about it...
If the child doesn't love us, it's foolish to talk to her about it.
I didn't mean that. I meant if we talked to her about her mother.
That's just the thing I wanted to forget. How will she ever grow to love us if we keep talking about her mother?
You might at least try. Everything else has failed.
That much is true. Well, I'll go to her room. I'll talk to her.
No.
Yes?
Perhaps if it happened more casually.
You may be right. I know. At mealtime, I'll find a way to broach the subject to her very casually. Then we'll see. Well, Naomi, I suppose that...
Yes, sir.
Well, what I meant to say was, we hope that you're happy here. I mean that everyone has a time in their lives when they undergo a great change. They move from one place to another, from one home to another. Isn't that so, Rhoda?
Yes, Silas.
My child, when I was a boy, my father moved our family all the way from Judea here to Galilee. I left all my friends, all the familiar places I knew. It happens that way. Just as it happened to you.
Yes, sir.
Well, then, I found myself thinking of the old life all the time. I used to be very sad till I talked with my brother. We used to recall the old times, the places where we played, the hills and the caves. Then it didn't seem so bad anymore.
You were lucky, sir.
That I had a brother to talk to? Yes, I was. But you have someone to talk to if you want to talk about the things and places you knew and the people.
People?
Yes. Say, your mother, for instance.
My mother?
Yes. You might want to talk about her. And if you do, we'd like to hear it. Well, go on. Say something, child. Go on. Say anything you want to say.
I'm sorry. I must leave the table.
You see? I tried as best I could to lead her gently into talking. At first she just sat there and stared. Then her eyes filled up and she ran away. It's all hopelessly wrong. And it's the child's fault. The child's fault. Rhoda, I've been thinking about it. All night I thought about it. We can find a way to the girl's love if we find things she wants to do or talk about. Except, of course, her mother. But there must be other things. And you should know. After all, she does talk to you sometimes.
Mostly she talks of her mother. But there is something else.
What is it?
The master.
The master? A child of her age talks about the master?
Yes. She's told me of how her mother used to take her to hear him. And she'll often repeat to me, word for word, things she's heard the master say.
Well, tell me, what are some of them? Or perhaps that's the way to bring the child closer to us.
One thing stands out most in my mind. Because it's about love.
Well, go on. Tell me.
She told me she'd heard the master say once, love your enemies. Bless them that curse you. Do good to them that hate you.
Love your enemy? Bless them that curse you? That's very strange.
It's good teaching if you think about it. I have.
It may well be good teaching. But hasn't the master ever taught her about loving those who are kind to her? Didn't she ever say anything about that?
Well, not in so many words.
Are you sure the child's repeating correctly what she heard?
I think so.
And it's stranger still. If she's been taught to love those who are enemies, then why can't she love us who have been so good to her? This is too confusing. I'll have Obadiah fetch her here. Obadiah!
Yes, sir. You called me?
Obadiah, would you please bring the girl here? I should like to talk to her.
Yes, sir. I shall bring her at once.
I can't understand it. I've done all I can. I spared no expense to make the child happy. You must admit that, Rhoda.
I know, Silas.
Yet we get no love from her. Why? Especially since she seems to remember the master's teachings about loving those who hate you. It's confusing, very confusing. But we'll find out now, and then we'll... Oh, Obadiah, well?
Sir, the girl, she isn't in her room.
Then search for her in the garden, in the arbor. You mean she's not there?
That's what I mean, sir.
Obadiah, she hasn't...
Her room, mistress, is very neat, but disturbing because it is so neat. Every single thing is as it was that very first day when she came here. It gives one a feeling that she's never lived here at all. I think she's run away.
Run away? After all we've done for her.
Oh, Silas, there's no time to think about ourselves and our feelings now. The poor child alone and with no money, nothing. She'll starve.
You're right. We can't let that happen. We must find her at once. And when we do, there's one thing I must find out. Why she couldn't love us. But come, we must find her first.
She's not here, Silas. Not here.
She must be. After all, this is the Master's meeting place. If she were alone and afraid, I'm sure this is the place she would come to. Perhaps if we went to the Master himself, he might know.
Then we must do that.
My friend, I couldn't help but hear. You spoke of the Master, of his knowing something you wish to know.
Yes? But why should it concern you?
We're among his closest followers, Thomas and I.
That's true, sir.
So if we could help...
If you only would. We seek a girl, our niece. She came to live with us and then ran away. We think she's here. She's a thin girl, about so tall, dark-haired, and sad. Very sad.
Many come here who are sad and thin of face and have dark hair. But if the child is here, we'll find her for you. Well, we've searched the whole place. It seems the child you seek is not here, Silas.
My sister's only child.
I'm very sorry, my dear woman.
Oh, Silas.
Well, perhaps it's best this way. She never loved us. Never even wanted us. I'm sure of that now.
How can you say that?
Because I know. How? Why do you keep asking how I know?
Thomas questions everything. It's his way of learning.
Well, I know we did all we could for the child, and she gave us no love in return.
And just what did you do for her?
Gave her a home, the best of food, the finest of clothes to wear. That's what we did.
Is that all?
What more can you do to merit love? Mind you, I gave it willingly. I was under no obligation to do it. All I asked in return was a little love. Child in a house where there were no children before.
Ah, yes, it's a pity.
I knew you'd understand how we felt once I explained the facts.
Oh, I meant it was a pity for the girl's sake.
For the girl's sake?
Yes. You know, I believe I could find the girl for you. But it would do no good if you were to find her now.
You mean she'll never love us?
Silas, before I tell you where the girl is, would you do something to please me?
Of course.
Come with me. Stand before the Master. Let him hear your complaint against the girl. How you did so much for her and found her loveless.
The Master? Yes. Perhaps he would like to know that this child stood before him and heard his words about loving those who hate her, but that she couldn't find it in her heart to love us, who did so much good for her.
Yes, Silas, I think that you could do nothing better than to accuse the girl.
Why do you say it that way, Thomas?
Come with me, and after you have listened to the Master, I shall help you find the girl. Come. Silas, we stand before him now. Speak of the girl, of yourselves.
Yes, Thomas. I shall try. Master, my wife and I, we've come here seeking a child who has run away from our home. We sought to make her our child, to make her love us. But though we gave the child everything we could, she didn't love us. not even though she had heard your words. Master, what can one do with such a child who knows neither appreciation for all we gave her, nor love for anyone?
Judge not, that ye be not judged.
I, Master, I be judged? What wrong have I done? Giving the child a good home, food and clothes? Was that wrong? It's not I, but the child who is at fault, Master.
Why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but considerest not the beam that is in thine own eye? First, cast out the beam out of thine own eye, and then shalt thou see clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother's eye.
Thomas, what the Master said to me, was it my fault that the child didn't love her?
Wasn't it, Silas?
But I gave her everything I could. Not everything. Oh, but may have been some things I overlooked, but what difference? She didn't even accept the things I did give her. She just didn't love us, that's all.
So you accuse her again, do you? First, take the beam out of your eye. First, examine yourself, Silas. True, you gave her bodily comfort, a home, food, clothes. But in return, you sought love.
Was it not fair to expect it?
Only love can bring forth love. That's why the Master said to us once, "This is my commandment, that ye love one another." Yet of all the things you told the Master you gave the child, love was not one of them. Yet you accused her of not loving you. That's why the Master spoke as he did.
Oh, yes, Silas. I understand now. I know now, and it's true. You gave her all things but love, and expected she would love you. Silas, the Master was right. You accused the child of the very thing that was lacking in you.
I begin to see now, Rhoda. The fine clothes we gave her, she put aside for the ragged garments her mother made for her. Because ragged as they were a sign of her mother's love.
What we gave her was bought with silver. What her mother gave her was evidence of love. The fault has been ours, Silas.
Not ours, Rhoda, but mine.
Now, Silas, I think you're ready to find her.
Where?
Where her heart is.
And where is that?
I found the answer by asking myself the same question. It is the place where she and her mother were happy together. Go there, and I'm sure you will find her.
This must be the house. The sentry at the town gate said so.
Such a hovel. I didn't know my sister was so poorly off.
That poor child is alone. Thomas was right. We'll go in.
Who is it? What do you want here? Oh.
Yes, child. Your aunt and uncle. We've come to find you.
Yes, dear. We thought you might be alone and frightened.
I am. But I had to be here.
Wait now. This was your mother's house. But we've come here to make sure you're no longer alone or frightened.
You made the long journey to Nazareth just because of me?
Yes, my dear. Because we love you and want to protect you.
You love me? I didn't know that. I thought you took me in just to keep me from starving. If I thought that you loved me, that you wanted me, I would have run away. Now I see that you really want me.
Yes, child. It's no fault of yours that you didn't know. Perhaps we didn't know either. But we have seen him.
The Master?
Yes. We always wanted you, dear. But that was our difficulty. We thought too much of the love we wanted, not enough of the love you needed from us. The Master showed me that when I complained of your not loving me. It was we who didn't give love. How could we have expected it in return? But now, my dear, if you choose to come back with it, I promise that I shall never forget the Master's work.
Judge not, that ye be not judged. Why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but considerest not the beam that is in thine own eye? First, cast out the beam out of thine own eye. Then shalt thou see clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother's eye.
You have been listening to A Child in the House, another episode in the greatest story ever told, from the greatest life ever lived.
Presented by the United States Armed Forces Radio Service. We present The Salt of the Earth, a drama based on an episode in The Greatest Life Ever Lived. town of Nazareth this early morning. Everything is peaceful and quiet as the first bright rays of the rising sun cast their golden light on the small white houses. In only one house is there anyone awake to greet the dawn. And for that home, this is the end of a night of watchful waiting. Now the woman of the house tiptoes softly to the side of her husband, who is staring out at the growing brightness of another day.
Jonathan.
Oh, Sarah. Well, have you noticed any change in her?
None. Her head still burns fiercely. Oh, Jonathan. Jonathan, is there nothing more we can do?
We've done all we can. Except one thing.
What Mordecai told us about.
Yes. If the Master is gifted with these great powers, surely he would help such a child as our Abigail. They say his touch, or even a few words from his lips, will heal anyone, be he lame or leper. Surely if he can do that, he would do it to save a child.
Oh, then find him. Bring him here. Or let us take Abigail to him. But it must be quickly, else it will be of no use. No use at all.
Mordecai said the Master was to be here within a day. Then he should be close by the town. I shall go searching for him. Now.
May God guide you to him. For the poor child's sake. How much more can she stand? How much?
Please, Sarah. Now is the time of restraint. If you should give way now, who will this family rely on? For you are our strength, Sarah. Be patient and do all you can till I find him. I will rouse Mordecai now, and he will take me to the Master. Mordecai! 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 Oh, Rachel.
Jonathan. The child, how is she?
No better. That's why I'm here. Where is Mordecai? He must take me to the Master at once. I must find him. He must help my child.
Oh, Jonathan.
What is it? Why do you look so strange and tremble so?
Jonathan, he isn't here.
Mordecai isn't here?
No. Yesterday afternoon there was word from his brother. He had to go to Cana to see him. It seemed urgent. He left at once.
Oh, no.
It's true. True.
Then who will take me to the Master? How will I find him?
Mordecai left word. He said that the Master is coming here to Nazareth from the north.
From the north? Then he would travel only one road. I shall find him by myself. I shall find him.
If you would find him, look for the 12 who are his apostles. Peter or Andrew or Philip or Thomas or Matthew. Any of them will see that you get your help from the Master. And when you stand before him, be full of faith and humility. Speak to him as you would to God.
Yes, Rachel. I shall remember all of that. Now I must go seeking his apostles so they may lead me to him. The child must be saved. She must.
Well, Matthew, there it is, Nazareth ahead there.
What did you say, Andrew?
Matthew, what is it? You're worried about something.
I've noticed it too, Andrew.
Have you, Thomas? Then surely you can find out what it is. No one can uncover more with a few questions than you, Thomas.
There's something which has put those wrinkles of worry in Matthew's face. But if he's brooding on some secret he chooses to hold within himself, who are we to pry?
You will stop taunting me, both of you?
Matthew, I have no desire to taunt you, but after all, we've shared our last crusts of bread together. Wouldn't it be as well to share our thoughts?
Philip, perhaps you're right. Maybe I should speak out, for I think this does affect us all.
Well then, Matthew?
Thomas, Andrew, Philip, I don't like to say this, but I believe we have disappointed the Master.
Disappointed? But how? What have we done?
I don't know.
Surely there would have been some word, some sign.
Wait, Thomas. Perhaps Matthew is right. Perhaps there has been a sign which we haven't noticed.
That's what I mean, Philip. Right now, we walk on ahead toward Nazareth. Yet the Master has remained far behind us on the road.
He often seeks solitude, to meditate.
Yet this time I felt it was different. We've been sent on ahead for some purpose. Perhaps for us to meditate. What have we done which is wrong?
If we examine ourselves, we should know.
Yes, Philip. And we should try to examine ourselves as though we were the accused. Should ask ourselves questions without favor or prejudice. That should uncover our errors, if there be any. Now first, which of us has turned from any person needing help? Is there anyone among us who has done that? Is there? I see. No one. Then we should go on to
Thomas.
What is it, Andrew?
Look, off there on the road.
A lone figure of a man. What's strange in that?
I believe he comes to find us. He's waving to us, beckoning us.
So he is Andrew.
You men! Are there 12 of you? I've been trying to count you as you came along the road. Are there 12?
He has come seeking us.
Perhaps he comes to warn us of some danger that the Master. The Master has spoken of danger several times in recent days.
I think maybe you're right, Thomas. The man seems excited, worried. He may well be a friend of ours, though I can't remember ever having seen him before.
Then let's ask him. Friend, we are of the 12 who are closest to the Master. Why do you come seeking us?
Then it is you. Thank God. Thank God.
Oh, what is it, man? Why do you tremble so? Is there danger?
Please, sirs. You must take me to him at once.
What do you seek from him?
Friends, I have a child, a little girl. For some days now, a bad fever has been burning her little body. This child who was once laughing and gay now only whimpers in a feverish sleep and tosses in pain. There is only one who can cure her. Only one. Take me to him.
Of course, friend. Come with me.
With you, Andrew?
Yes, with me. For such a thing as this, the Master wouldn't mind an intrusion on his meditations. Has he ever turned from anyone in need?
I didn't mean that, Andrew.
What else could you mean?
Andrew, why you? Why should you take precedence over the rest of us? Did the man appeal to you alone for help? Very truthfully, I believe that I should take this man to the Master. Come, sir.
Now, wait, Thomas. How can you hold yourself up to be greater than the others?
I believe if the Master were asked now to choose which of us would be the greatest after him, he should choose me.
You? Matthew, Philip, Bartholomew. Did you hear that?
Oh, please, sirs. My child. She must have help at once if she's to live at all.
Oh, one moment, man. Thomas, tell me. Which of us was chosen first? You? Oh, no. Andrew and Peter. So what makes you think you're first among us in his preference?
Sirs, please. It's my child I'm thinking of. I don't care who it is who takes me to the Master, as long as I see him before it's too late.
This will only take a moment, sir. Now, it's true we were all of us chosen. Some first, some later. But, Andrew, you've gone into the marketplace many times, seeking fruit. And you stop here and you stop there to examine what the merchants offer for sale. And here you buy an orange and there a pomegranate and so on. Now, Andrew, will you tell me that the first fruit you chose was the best?
What's that to do with it?
Answer me, Andrew. Hasn't it ever happened to you that you've chosen fruit at one merchant's stall only to see finer fruit later at another's? Hasn't it?
You're trying to muddle me. I don't like it.
All I'm trying to say is this. First chosen isn't always best chosen. Just as firstborn isn't always bestborn either. There was Esau first and then Jacob. And of many sons, Joseph was not the firstborn.
We're talking of us, not of fruit, nor of Jacob, nor Joseph. Peter and I were chosen first. To us, he said he would make us fishers of men. Before any of the rest of you even knew of it.
Andrew, I still
You ask too much, Thomas. Andrew, go on. You take the man to the Master. You've as much as right as any of us. Perhaps even more.
Yes, Matthew. I'll do that. Now, sir, if you...
Well, what is it, Andrew?
He was here a moment ago. Sir, where are you? I'm ready to take you to the Master now.
Andrew, he isn't here.
But, Philip, he wouldn't have gone away. He needed help.
See for yourself, he's not here.
But his child, the little girl of whom he spoke so pathetically.
Yes. The little girl. her body racked by a fever so close to dying. And we stood here and talked of which one of us should have the honor of taking this man to the master. And now he's gone.
This is an evil thing we have allowed to happen. We must go back and find the master at once. We must take him swiftly to the town. And let us hope we are not too late. For the child's sake. Surely, Philip, the master must be close by here.
Andrew, what good to say he must be when we can see he isn't?
But we've covered every inch of the road. Almost back to the place where he asked that we leave him by himself for a while.
What's to indicate he isn't still at that very same rock where he stopped to pray?
That was a long time ago, Thomas.
Yes, but he may still be there. You know very well when he prays, time means little to him. He must still be there. And we shall find him. Come.
You see, Thomas, I told you. Here's the same rock. But the master isn't here. There's no sign of him.
And I was so sure.
You were very sure about a great many other things, Thomas, and just as wrong. You said you were to be first among us. You gave us all sorts of ways to prove your point. You're as wrong now as you were then.
Now, wait, Andrew.
Both of you, all of you, listen to me.
Yes, Matthew?
There shall not be another word spoken among us about who is to be the first until we find that man, or until we find the master and bring him to the bedside of that child who needs his help. This is a cruel thing we have done this day. We have allowed ourselves to bicker while a man stood by, terrified for the life of his child. So there shall be no more talk about anything except finding that man.
Yes, but where? How?
Your question can answer itself, Thomas.
Where? Well, we saw the man come toward us from the gates of Nazareth, so we know the town where he lives. How? We must go from house to house, if need be, to search for him.
Exactly. Come, all of you.
Sir, may I ask if you would know, is there a sick child in this town?
Sick child?
Yes.
Let me see.
Please, sir, quickly. There is little time to lose.
I am thinking. Give me a moment. Now, there was Zechariah. His son was ill.
It was not a lad that was ill, but a girl.
Now, see here. Don't tell me. Zechariah has no daughters, only sons.
But the one I'm seeking is a man whose daughter is ill.
Oh, I see. Well, now, let me think again. There was the silversmith, Aaron. Now, his daughter...
Yes, what about her?
Fever. Bad fever.
Then that must be the one. Where can I find him?
Well, you could find him at the temple, most likely. Offering a prayer of thanks.
Thanks? What for?
Why, his daughter. She recovered several days ago.
Then he's not the man. I must go on till I find the man who came to us for help.
Tell me, good woman, do you know of a sick child hereabout?
A sick child? Oh, yes. Simeon the Weaver had such a child.
And the child, a little girl, ill of the fever?
Yes, a girl. But if it was fever, one doesn't know.
Well, no matter what it is, if she's sick, we'll bring help to her.
I'm afraid not.
What do you mean, woman?
Dead. 2 days ago.
Dead? 2 days ago? No, you don't understand.
Don't I? Who stitched the shroud for the child? I did. Yes. She died. Poor child.
I'm sorry, woman. But it isn't Simeon's house I seek. I must go on. We must find that child.
Good day to you, woman.
Good day to... Yes, it's you, the Apostle Matthew who follows the Mass. My husband Mordecai and I have seen you with him many times.
Yes, it's I.
Come in, then. Perhaps you're hungry after a long journey. We have bread and cheese still left from the midday meal.
I have no time, woman. I seek a man whose daughter is ill, very ill of the fever.
A man with a child ill from a fever. Of course. It's Jonathan. And only this morning he went seeking the master, for the child is in a very bad way.
This morning, he went seeking the master?
Yes, on the road which winds into Nazareth from the north.
Then he's the man. Tell me, where does he live?
Look, I'll point it out to you. You see there, that house? Why, there are several men approaching that house now.
Why, it's Andrew and Philip and Thomas. I must join them quickly. Thank you, woman. Thank you. Andrew, Thomas, this is the house?
Yes, we know now. Each of us found out as we came to this part of the town. The man's name is Jonathan.
So I learned, too.
Then come, we must go in.
Oh, yes, but first, a moment of prayer.
Prayer?
That the child still lives. For if he doesn't, then the fault is ours, and I could never forgive myself. So a moment of prayer, brothers. Now, we shall knock.
Yes. Is there anything I can do for you?
Woman, you have a child, little girl.
Yes. Yes.
Then you must weep no longer. We have come to bring help to the child.
To bring help?
Woman, it isn't too late, is it? It can't be. Please, don't cry.
Who has a better right to cry? One moment she lay dying. In the next she was strong and well.
What do you mean?
Come, see for yourselves. You'll be the first to see her since it happened. Come. There.
Andrew, he's the man who came seeking our help. Yes. Is this the child who was so sick, woman?
You wouldn't believe it, would you?
No.
And Father, first it was all a terrible darkness. And then it was as though I heard a voice call to me from far away. And a soft, gentle hand reached out to touch me.
Yes, dear.
And then when the hand touched me, the darkness began to go away. I opened my eyes, and I looked into the kindest face I've ever seen. The eyes seemed to shine in a way I'd never known before. And he took my hand and lifted me up. And I felt better. Better.
Oh, Abigail. Abigail, you're well again.
There. You see, sirs.
Friend.
Oh, it's you, Andrew.
We heard what the child said. It could mean only one thing. The master was here. It was his face, his gentle touch she spoke of. Wasn't it?
Yes, friends. He was here. I found him on the road after I left the 12 of you.
Left us, yes, quarreling among ourselves, concerned with petty differences at a time when you needed help. We're ashamed of ourselves. Ashamed and very humble.
So the master came here without us. I wonder how, Jonathan.
I went on along the road in the direction from which you came. I found him and told him of the child, though I said nothing of you 12. It was he who suggested we return here by a different route across fields and through orchards.
A different route? I wonder why.
I don't know. I only asked him for help and followed along the way he led.
Where is the master now?
He has gone back to the place where you left him early this morning.
And we should go find him, brothers, at once.
sun is almost setting. It has that redness which fills the sky just before it goes down.
And only this morning, Andrew, we saw it rise. None of us suspected what a sad day we would make of this.
We must go to him and tell him.
I wonder.
We must tell him. It was our fault. He should be free to admit it. Don't you think so, Philip?
I don't know.
Is it his reproach you fear?
Not his reproach, but the hurt we might inflict upon him should he find out how selfish we've been. It's against everything he's ever taught us.
Yes, Philip. Then you think we shouldn't tell him?
I would rather not.
We'd best decide very soon. There I can see him standing by the very same rock where we left him alone at dawn.
Yes, and he sees us.
What will we do?
He beckons to us.
Then come.
And we tell him?
I don't know yet. We shall see.
He would speak to us, Philip. I can tell by his face.
What was it ye disputed among yourselves by the way?
Andrew. Philip. He knows there was a dispute.
Yes. And how can we tell him? You know how he teaches against pride and vanity? I can't tell him.
Neither can I. Nor I.
Certainly not I. For I was most guilty.
If any man desire to be first, the same shall be last of all, and servant of all.
He knows of our dispute, and even what it was about. Oh, Master, forgive us for the vain and proud way in which we spoke.
Yes, Master. We are humble now, and sorry. Very sorry. For as a result of our selfish seeking of a high place among all the rest, a child was almost lost. You yourself cured her by placing your hand upon her head and lifting her up. Yet we turn from helping this child to quarrel among ourselves.
Yes, Master. If the child had depended upon us, she would have died while we beckoned. We are guilty. Guilty.
Ye are the salt of the earth. But if the salt has lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing but to be cast out and to be trodden under the foot of men. Have salt in yourselves, and have peace with one another.
Thomas, it's been night a long time now. If you don't sleep.
I've been watching the fire as it loses its glow, Andrew. Soon it will be dark, too.
It was an eventful day. I won't forget it, ever.
None of us will. Not that the rebuke was not earned. It was, many times over. Stings almost like salt in an open wound.
Salt again. First he talked of it. Now you talk of it. Why did he choose to talk of salt in that way? You know about these things, Thomas. You question and study more than I. Tell me, what did he mean when he spoke of salt losing its taste?
He called us the salt of the earth, since we are most precious to him. Who is closer to him among men than we?
None.
He chose us. He taught us. Ours will be the duty to carry on when he is gone.
But if we, whom he called the salt of the earth, cannot follow his way, what a bad example we will be to all other men. And as he said, if salt loses its taste, what can you salt it with? That's true. So if we don't follow his way, who else will there be to serve as an example after he is gone? That's our duty, and we must never fail in it again. It is not only our duty, but the duty of all good people. On them is the burden to serve as an example to all. For if the good people desert the ways of goodness, who else shall there be to serve as an example of goodness?
It's far worse, then, for a good man to do evil than for a bad man to do evil, isn't it, Thomas?
Yes, Andrew. I understand now.
Only, Thomas, wasn't it strange that the Master should have taken a different road to Nazareth than the one we were on?
I've been thinking about that, too. And besides, he knew the nature of our quarrel, though no one told him.
That's right. Even this morning at dawn, he sent us on ahead of him. Why, it's as though he knew all of it was going to happen as it did.
Yes, Andrew. Yes. He must have known all along.
Listening to The Salt of the Earth, another episode in the greatest story ever told from the greatest life ever lived. The greatest story ever told was a presentation of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service, the voice of information and education.
The greatest story ever told. We present He That Loseth His Life, a drama based upon a teaching set forth in the 10th chapter of the Gospel according to St. Matthew, a teaching from the greatest life ever lived. In the northern part of the province of Galilee, there is one man whose name you are bound to hear most often, Amos of Gischala. For his wealth is great, and his influence upon the people of that area is even greater. When Amos prospers, everyone prospers. And in a season when his crops are small, there is hardship in the town. But this is no day to talk of hard times. For today there is feasting and celebration on the great estate of Amos. There's laughter and music and great joy everywhere, except perhaps in the heart of Amos himself, as now he stands watching the festivities. And though there is a smile on his lips, one can see by looking closely that his eyes are not smiling.
Sir, Amos, it is almost time to serve the meat.
Then serve it.
I thought, sir, that you would care to make your announcement first.
The announcement?
This great feast and all to make the announcement, and yet you have forgotten?
I have not forgotten. Find my son. I will tell these people the reason for this feast.
Yes, sir. I will find him at once. Sir, he is here.
Good. Well, Jonathan, we have a hostly duty to perform now.
Do we, Father?
Surely you did not think that I have given this great feast without purpose?
Of course not. What did you say?
I was only agreeing with you, Father. Whenever you do anything, it is for some purpose. Then perhaps this time you will approve of my purpose when you hear it. Samuel.
Yes, sir?
Quiet our guests. I wish them to hear this.
Yes, sir.
My friends, guests of my master, please, a moment of quiet, for he wishes to speak to you. Please, quiet.
Thank you, Samuel. My friends, first I bid you welcome here. I ask you to eat and drink your fill, because in that way perhaps you can share this great day with me. And it is a great day. For the reason I will tell you now. Jonathan, come forward. Here. Stand beside me.
Yes, Father.
Today, my friends, my son becomes more than my son. He becomes a partner in all my lands and estates. Yes, it is true. From this day forward, his word is as important as mine. His command of equal weight. His agreement to anything as much a legal bargain as if I had given my own word. Yes, today he becomes more than my son. Well, Jonathan, have you nothing to say?
Please, Father, don't make me.
I insist that you do.
All right. But remember, you insisted.
My friends, this and perhaps, but not for me. For before being made a partner of the great Amos, I would have preferred first to really be his son.
Jonathan.
Excuse me, Father, but you insisted.
My friends, the news must have been too much for him. Truly, he did not know what he was saying. Let it not diminish your pleasure. Eat, drink, sing. It is my wish that you be happy today. Musicians, come, let us hear some happy tune.
Sir, there is no reason to remain out here. It is growing dark.
They all left so early, even before half the food was consumed. Look, whole oxen untouched and turning cold. That boy, he drove them away with his foolish word.
Please, sir, do not talk about it.
Has there ever been a boy who has been given more? What I did for him today, is that something to be insulted for in front of all the townspeople?
Please,
is a little love and respect too much to ask?
Sir, not now. We are not alone.
They are all gone. In fact, the emptiness of this place can be very oppressive.
Sir, there is someone there, standing a little way off.
Oh, I see. Do you know the lad?
He is not of this part of Galilee.
Well, no matter. From the look of him, he is a beggar. We have food to give away. Give him all he wants.
Yes, sir. Lad, you need not stand off that way. Come closer. And if it is food that you want, you may help yourself.
Thank you, sir. I will not take much. Only enough for 2 people.
There is enough for 200. Take all you can carry.
Thank you, sir. Now, let me see.
You are a very particular beggar. What's wrong with this piece of meat?
It is not tender enough, sir.
Indeed. You are very difficult to please, aren't you?
Sir, it is not myself I'm concerned with.
Who else can it be? Who are you talking about?
He is resting by the side of the road. He is old and very tired. And if it is possible to spare him a few steps, it is a blessing.
This old man, he is your father?
No, sir. And about the tender portions of meat, it is difficult for him to chew, though he does not like to admit it.
I see.
But do not think that I will take a great deal of meat or waste any of it. The hard, crusty part I eat myself.
So that he may have the tender portion, eh?
Yes, sir.
And all this you do for a stranger?
Oh, he is not a stranger.
Yet not a relation, either.
No, sir. I like to think of him as my friend. Now, if it is agreeable to you, sir, may I select a piece of the meat for him?
Of course. Go on, young man. Take whatever you wish. And you need not limit yourself to merely one piece.
And here, Jude, the greatest surprise of all. Look, meat, freshly roasted.
Some kind man has been giving a feast, Aaron?
Yes, sir. And obviously he prepared for a great many more people than actually came there. For there was much food left over, a great deal.
Well, then it is our good fortune. We must thank God for his goodness and then eat. For you are hungry. I can see it in your eyes.
At least this time there's enough. And this piece of meat, notice how tender it looks.
Very tender. And because it is, I wish you to have it this time.
Oh, no, sir. I like the crusty part. You know that.
Well, then, Aaron, I ask you to make this sacrifice for my sake. You take the tender part this time.
Please, Jude.
My friend.
What?
Forgive me for intruding, but after the lad left my place, it struck me suddenly that he took nothing with him to drink.
It is very kind of you to be so solicitous, my friend.
I have brought this pitcher thinking you might like to draw some cool water from the well.
Thank you very much.
Aaron, why not go and fetch the water now, lad?
Oh, yes, Jude. I will be back quickly.
He is a fine young boy, your friend.
Oh, yes, I am very fond of him.
And he is fond of you, too. I can tell you that.
You know him?
No. But I saw him select this piece of meat you are preparing to eat. I tell you, it was difficult to please him.
Yes, I know. He worries about me a great deal. And now, my friend, you wish to speak to me about something?
What? Well, no.
You can tell you're a troubled man, and there was also this. A man intent on seeing that we had cool water to drink would not have brought an empty pitcher.
To be very truthful about whom the boy spoke so lovingly, for whom he chose food so carefully, I wanted to see what kind of man you are.
What you are saying to yourself, then, is this man is old and poor. He has not even enough to eat, and is clothed in only a simple, coarse garment. What can he give this boy?
I didn't say that.
But you thought it. Am I right?
Yes, Jude, you are right. The boy is devoted to you. I tell you, not many fathers receive as much love and sacrifice from their own sons.
Oh, I see.
I might as well admit it.
I am very sorry for you, my friend.
I cannot understand it. I have given him everything that it is possible to give, yet he does not love me, and yet you... I'm sorry.
And yet I, who seem to have nothing to give, receive so much love and consideration from Aaron. You were going to ask that?
Yes, I'm desperate to know why that is.
My friend, I am on the way in a journey which will take me back to the one I hold most highly in all this world. Perhaps you have heard of him. Most people call him merely the Master. They do not yet understand fully his mission on this earth.
The Master? Yes, I have heard stories, rumors. Surely it cannot be true what they say about him.
And if I were to give you my word that it is true?
That he has healed even the blind and the lame and the leper?
True. All of it.
And You think he can help me?
Perhaps if you and your son were to accompany Aaron and me.
If you think he can help me, I will do better than that. I will arrange at once for a caravan to take us there. We will go more swiftly that way.
This time, perhaps there is something to be said for going slowly.
You mean you want us to walk the hot, dusty road?
Yes.
My way is quicker and more comfortable.
My way is slower, perhaps, but might prove to be better. Will you come?
If my son agrees, yes. This is the moment I've been looking forward to for days now.
Yes, my friend, and I trust that you meet it with an open mind and an open heart.
I am sure that I am ready. It is my son that I am worried about.
Why do you say that?
Because during the entire journey, he has not spoken kindly to me. He has not changed in any way.
I had hoped that he would. But perhaps we should not blame the boy altogether.
Then am I to blame? What have I done wrong?
We shall find out now. For I see that the master has taken his place up there on the mount. He is going to teach us now.
So this is your master?
You do not approve of him?
There is something disturbing about him.
Others find him reassuring.
And now, as he looks out upon us and smiles, I think I find his face too gentle.
And yet others find strength in him. Listen to him, my friend.
No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve God and mammon.
A sound teaching, Jude, one I approve of and live by.
Do you, Amos?
I have never made the gathering of wealth the most important thing in my life. I have given away a great deal to charity. I have even offered to share everything with my son.
And yet he did not accept it. Now, there must be a reason.
I am waiting to hear your master teach more. For I know if my son hears this, surely he will understand me better.
We shall listen.
He that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. He that findeth his life shall lose it, and he that loseth his life for my sake shall find it.
He that taketh not his cross.
If it puzzles you, my friend, it is because you do not know what will happen to our Lord, but we, his chosen disciples, do. His sacrifice will be great. And if any of us would follow in his way, then our sacrifice must be great, too.
Sacrifice? It seems he would call on us to sacrifice everything, even our lives.
And yet you called him too gentle. Now it seems you have not the strength to follow his way.
My fortune, I give of that. I do not place anything before the importance of serving God.
Yet he has asked for life. For you, not for your wealth. Now, what is your answer, Amos?
I cannot give it. I cannot give it.
Amos, Amos, come back. No, I'm afraid he will never come back now.
wise to come all this way on foot, my son.
I do not find the journey burdensome.
Is that all you can find to say to me, your own father?
Please, Father, I do not wish to quarrel with you. In fact, I do not even wish to talk, if you approve.
So now you will not even talk with me?
No, it's not that, Father. But I am thinking over and over in my mind. I hear his words. And I want to keep saying them again and again, because I do not wish to lose them, ever.
He impressed you so strongly?
Have you ever seen such a face? Heard such a strong yet loving voice? I never have. Nor ever will again. I know it. Somehow I know it.
My son, you know I have never really felt close to you before, or understood you before. But now I do. And I wonder, is it too late for us both to understand each other? Is it?
I wish I knew, Father.
Yes, of course. It is something to see in the future. We must go on. We must return home. Jonathan.
Yes, Father?
Stand still. Stop where you are. That bell.
A leper.
Yes, my son, careful. We must not approach him, or allow him to approach us either. Yet I cannot see.
He is forbidden to walk the road like all other people. Perhaps he comes through the field.
I will find out. Leper, we hear your bell of warning, yet we do not see you. Where are you? Make your presence known. The law requires it.
Do not be afraid of me. I will make no effort to come close to you. But please, wait. I must ask you something.
Careful, son. Stand where you are. We see you now.
You men travel north. Surely from where you came, you have heard of the Master?
The Master? We have seen him only 2 days ago.
Then you know where he is. You can tell me, please. For once I have seen him, once I have stood in his presence, I will be healed. I believe it. I know it.
He is only 2 days' journey from here.
2 days' journey. For those who can walk the roads openly and freely, it may be 2 days' journey. But for one like me who must walk the untracked fields, it is not 2 days, but 10 perhaps, or even more. So if you know, tell me this. Where can I find the Master 10 days from now? Where?
Jonathan, I had never realized before how these poor creatures live. All I have ever wanted to do was to be kept free from them and safe.
Yet when you see them, you begin to know what suffering there is in the world.
If only I had enough gold with me, I would buy him a donkey to help him in his journey. I should like to do something for the poor man.
Are you helpless without your gold, Father?
So, that is what you think of me. Well, I will show you. Leper, I cannot tell you where the Master will be 10 days from now. But I can tell you this. Wherever he will be, you will be.
Father?
Yes, Jonathan, I will go with him, leading him, helping him, seeing that he is fed. And we will find the Master together.
Father, have you taken into account the risks? This may cost you your life.
I know what I am doing. Did not the Master ask that a man give up his life to find it? And did you not ask me if I was helpless without my gold?
No, please, Father, don't let my words goad you into doing anything you will regret.
For once in my life, I will do real charity from within myself. And I will not allow gold to serve as my messenger. If I must risk my life to help this poor creature, then in God's name I will do it. There is only one thing.
Yes, Father.
You will not come with us.
But, Father,
there is nothing to be gained by you risking your life, too. I forbid you to come with us. And remember, I am your father.
It will be as you say.
Good. And now I wish to test myself. Leper, I ask you to draw close to me.
The law forbids.
And does the law forbid a clean person from coming close to a leper?
The law does not say as to that.
All right, then.
Father.
Now, my friend, come. I will take you to the Master, so you may be healed. You need not sound your bell here, Elihu.
I can be stoned for failing to do that. The law says so.
Here I have seen them observe a different law. Here, the well do not shrink from the sick.
Then, all that I have heard of the Master is true?
True indeed. Yet it is strange that I saw all this before, and it did not impress me.
It did not impress you. From the way you have acted toward me, I would have thought that you were one of the Master's staunchest followers.
You would?
Oh, yes, Amos.
I thank you for those words, my friend. Come, I will take you to him. Here, my friend, is the Master.
All that I had thought and dreamed he was, I can see now that he is.
Then go to him, Elihu.
Lord, what need I say? That I am a leper? The sight of me is enough. The sound of my bell is enough. I am unclean and unlike other people. But I wish to be the same as they are. I wish to walk free and unhampered like all other men. Lord, I believe that if you will it, you can make me clean.
Lord, you raise your hand to help him. I will. Be thou clean.
Lord, my flesh is clean, whole again. I am healed. Amos, there are no words to express my thanks to you.
It was the Master who healed you.
But your willingness to sacrifice made it possible.
Give your thanks to God, my friend.
Truly, you must be a good man. A man of great kindness and compassion. That you would risk your life for a stranger.
To hear such words from your lips, one could not be better paid for any sacrifice.
Father.
Jonathan, what are you doing here? I forbade you to come.
Father, you forbade me to come with you. But you did not say that I could not return here to the Master.
True, my son.
And I had to come back here. I wanted to be here to see you bring that poor man to the Master's feet. And I did. Father, I must confess now that I misjudged you. It was a fine and wonderful thing that you did.
And yet, I did not think you capable of doing it. I wish to apologize to you.
I am the one who should ask your pardon, my son. For till I heard the master, I was not capable of making such a sacrifice. Yes, the master was right when he said that you can find your life by giving it for his sake. For through this sacrifice, I have found a great deal. I have found a part of myself that has too long been lost. And I have found the precious thing I have always wanted. The love and respect of my son. Yes, I have found my life through his way.
Next week on this same station, we will present another episode in the greatest story ever told from the greatest life ever lived. This is the United States Armed Forces Radio Service, the voice of information and education.
The greatest story ever told. Present Go with Him Twain, a drama based on a teaching from the Sermon on the Mount, as set down in the 5th chapter of the Gospel according to St. Matthew, a teaching from the greatest life ever lived. It is afternoon in Galilee, and the sun stands far to the west. But there are some people in Galilee who do not notice that the day is almost gone. For they are gathered at the foot of a green sloping mountain, and they gaze upward in reverence and intense belief as the voice of the Master reaches out to them. Yet if there's any one faith that can be deemed to be more intense than all the others, it is that of the young boy Abner. He holds tightly to his mother's hand, and he looks upward, his eyes fixed on the Master's face.
Everything's true, Mother. Everything.
Of course, my son. Else the Master would not say it.
I didn't mean that. I meant that everything that Father used to say about him is true.
Yes, Abner. So the very day he died, your father was a strong believer.
And he was right.
Yes, my son. Now be still. There is more teaching to hear now.
I say unto you, that ye resist not evil, but whosoever shall smite thee on thy right cheek, turn to him the other also. And whosoever shall compel thee to go a mile,
Go with him, Twain. I say unto you, love your enemies. Bless them that curse you. Do good to them that hate you. And pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you.
Mother, there was another thing we heard the Master teach. Remember when he said, "Whosoever shall compel you to go a mile, go with him twain."
There was not a single word he said that you do not seem to remember, my son. You are just like your father was.
I want to be like my father.
Well, of course not, then.
You know, what have you done all day?
You've been what is it?
Since early afternoon, we have all been waiting for you, all your friends and neighbors.
Been to hear the Master. We had no cause to worry about
We
him.
do not know if we have cause to worry as yet. We must find out what the man wants before we come to any conclusions.
What man?
Perhaps you can tell us. But he won't. All he has done is to ask questions, and as though he were a Roman. Such arrogance, such contempt for others.
Well, who is this man?
He came here this afternoon, right to your house. He asked questions and probed into everything, and now he's waiting for you and for the boy.
I cannot understand why any stranger would be curious about us.
Neither can we. That's why I waited here for you, to warn you, to prepare you. And do not be afraid of him. You have friends who will protect you.
Of course, Reuben, I know that. But we must find out who this man is. Come, Abner, quickly. Sir, you have been waiting for us?
Are you the woman you know? Is this your son?
Yes, sir. No, one moment, please.
What are you going to do, woman?
You have left 2 lamps. I must put one of them out. Oil is too costly to be wasted in such a manner.
A little bit of oil, and you must be so frugal with it? Well, isn't that hard to understand when one has had a chance to look around this place?
You have been spying on us?
I have been looking about this miserable little place, if that's what you mean.
You have no right to talk to me in this way. Who are you?
Come, boy. Come here.
Mother.
I'm here for your own good, boy, so do not be afraid of me.
Mother, no.
Boy, I am your grandfather.
My grandfather? Oh, you are Samson.
Yes. Now I wish to see my grandson. See what kind of a child he is. Come here, boy.
Abner, you must go to him.
Yes, Mother.
Look at you. These are not clothes, but rags.
They are clean.
Yet they look as if one more good washing and they'd fall to bits.
They are the best we can afford now.
Oh, I know that. I know that very well. I've looked about this place. Handful of grain in the crock there. Enough dried lentils for perhaps one meal. Can you not explain your poverty to me?
Things have not gone well since Joseph died.
They did not go so well before that. As I warned him. Mind you, I am not a rich man, but a comfortable one. So he could have been if he'd listened to me, instead of shaming me before all my friends.
I know how you feel about me. You need not say it.
Think that he could have married a girl like you. An orphan with no dowry, no family. Instead of the girl I had selected for him. He was headstrong, and it brought him to a bad end. And it has brought his son to such a low place in this world.
It is not a low place. My father and I, we're as decent as people can be.
Oh, yes, I know about that, too. I've not been idle while I've been waiting here. I've been asking. I've been learning. You have been to hear the Master teach.
Yes, sir. We are not ashamed of it.
So the poor of Galilee have finally found themselves a prophet. It would be amusing if it were not so tragic. But we're wasting time. Woman, I want to talk to you alone.
Why alone?
There's a decision you have to make. It would be better if the boy were not here. Now, please.
Edna, wait outside, boy.
I'll stay here with you, Mother. You may need me.
Well, such loyalty. I wonder what it is, woman, that has earned you such loyalty. First from my son and now from my grandson. What sort of spell do you cast over them?
The boy will wait outside. Please, Abner.
Yes, Mother. But Mary, I heard her. You hear?
Boy has spirit, I'll say that for him.
Master, what is it you wish of me?
Woman, I will be blunt. You've taken my son from me. You ruined his life. You've done a great deal of harm with your headstrong attitude. Now I ask that you do not do the same thing to my grandson.
You want the boy?
Yes.
You cannot have him.
I knew you would say that. I know also that it would be useless for me to offer you money. Do not think I have underestimated you.
You are very shrewd, aren't you?
I do not flatter myself as to being shrewd. I try only to be practical. What you will not do for gain, I think you will do out of good conscience.
My conscience does not trouble me. The boy is well brought up.
I know that. I can see it. Except, of course, there must be some nights when you go without food so the boy may have enough.
And if I do?
Then there are other nights when, despite your sacrifice, there's not enough even for the boy.
We have managed to exist thus far.
Woman, remember that I have looked around this place. What will you feed him tonight?
The dried lentils, some bread.
And tomorrow? What will happen tomorrow?
We have kind neighbors.
Exactly. You have nothing to look forward to except the charity of others.
Perhaps you do not understand.
Oh, I understand. For you to become a serving woman would mean that you'd have to neglect the boy, and you do not wish to do that. Yet if you do not, there's nothing to eat save for the charity of others. It's a difficult situation. I'm not one to be blind to it. The only thing that gave me cause to hope that you would be reasonable...
No.
Oh, I know how you feel, woman. The thing which overwhelms you now is that you realize I'm right. No future for you and the boy together.
If only it were possible.
Well, if you have any thought that I would take the two of you in, pull it out of your mind. Now, as I said, there is a decision to make. Do not flout before me the fact that you love the boy. It's not unusual that a mother loves her child. Ask yourself this. Do you love him enough to make a sacrifice so that his security will be assured for the rest of his life? That will be the real test of your love.
I cannot give him up.
You will make a beggar of him with your love. You will have him live with a handful of dried beans between him and starvation.
I wish you had not said this. Night after night, I lie awake thinking the same thing. What will happen to us tomorrow? The day after? What will happen to us?
You owe it to the boy to give him a chance at a decent life. And without him, you will have a chance to rebuild your own. Do not let your love for him destroy the two of you. That would be selfish.
You would promise me that he will be well taken care of?
He will never want for anything. Not food or clothes or instruction in the temple school of Jericho. He will have everything I can give him.
I believe you. But there is one thing more that I must ask.
Yes?
That you will not discourage the boy's belief in the master.
I promise that, too.
You are very quick to promise.
Why not? I have every confidence he will outgrow this foolishness.
Then you do not know the boy.
Perhaps. In any event, I give you my word, I will not tamper with his belief. Well, have you made up your mind?
I must talk to the boy first.
I can wait.
And, Agnes, there are pleasant things to think about. You live in Jericho. Your father lived there. I know. He used to tell me about it. People will know you there. Probably your father and loved him very much. But people only here. And there will be a fine house and good food. And not just from time to time, but every day. Think of that. But year after year. If they will not be together, there will still be something that we will share. If I cannot sue, we will have our memories and our thoughts of the master to share. And even though we may be far apart, you being in Judea and I in Galilee, still that will hold us together in spirit. I will run away. I will come back here. No, Abner, no. We will do what I say, for it is the best thing. He doesn't like me. I can see it. He's a hard man. Stern. He's not like my father at all. Then, Agnes, perhaps it will be your duty to change him if you can. I will run away, I tell you, Mama. Please, Agnes. Do this because I asked you to do it. You don't want me to go, do you? No. It's still you must. You understand? Yes. Yes, Mother. I understand. But if ever I have the chance, I will come back. You'll see.
Well, boy, I suppose you are looking forward to the life that is ahead of you, Possibly trying to imagine what it would be like,
No, sir.
No? Well, then perhaps it is time you did think about it. For example, during the day, you will study under learned teachers. And in the evening, you will tell me what you have learned. We will sit on the roof of my farmhouse in Jericho, talk about all manner of things.
You say so, sir.
It would do no harm for you to become used to calling me grandfather.
I do not think I can say it, sir.
And why not? I am your grandfather.
Yes, sir, but I do not think... Please, sir.
Come, boy, I will not be hard with you, but neither will I pamper you as your mother seems to have done. Now, you will say it. Go on.
Please, sir. Don't make me...
Say the word. Say it, I tell you.
Yes. Yes, sir. Grandfather.
Good. Perhaps now that you have said it once, it will come easier to you the next time. And another thing, you might as well get used to discipline. But I can tell you now, you will not be allowed to grow up as your father was. You will know what discipline is, what obeying means. You understand?
I think so, sir.
You'll find it easier that way in the long run. Now, soon we will arrive in Japhia. I will see that you get a good meal into you. You must begin putting some flesh on those bones of yours. Then we will spend the night and continue on with our journey in the morning. Innkeeper, I wish some fine roasted meat, some fresh bread, and some wine. My grandson's a very hungry lad. Abner? Well, say something.
Yes, sir. I am hungry.
He's a bit shy, eh, sir? Well, you think a boy would be excited about going on a journey with his grandfather? Oh, come, lad. Let's see you smile. Come now. No, wait, no tears. A smile. Let me see you smile.
Leave him alone.
Oh, well, of course, sir. I was only trying to be friendly.
Then leave the bread and the wine, quickly.
It's all ready, sir. I'll have only to serve it. Strange for a boy to be so uneasy with his own grandfather.
See here, Abner. You will not insult me in this way.
I didn't mean to insult you, sir. I couldn't help it. I couldn't.
You will force yourself to smile. And remember to call me grandfather.
I will try, sir.
Grandfather. Remember, grandfather. Oh, you innkeeper, you're back.
Yes, sir.
How long have you been standing here?
Just a moment, sir. No longer than that.
I do not like people who eavesdrop. Set the food down beyond your way.
Yes, sir. There, the platter of meat, some loaves of bread, and the flagon of wine.
Portion out some of the meat for my grandson.
Yes, sir. Here, boy, here's a fine, tender piece of meat for you. Here, let me tear it apart for you. There. Oh, what is it, boy? Too well done? Or not enough? Well, start eating.
Abner, pick up the meat. Start eating.
Not without saying a prayer, sir.
Oh, yes, of course. Good Lord, we thank you for this food which you have given us. Amen. Now, Abner.
Sir, my mother and I, we say another prayer.
Oh?
Yes, sir. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses.
Well, sir, did you find everything to your satisfaction?
Quite satisfactory, innkeeper.
But I see the boy has not finished his food. Well, no wonder he's asleep.
Yes, he's tired from traveling all day. But that was not the reason he didn't finish his food.
Then he didn't like it?
Not that hour. Before he fell off to sleep, he said something about a little to give to the beggars at the town gate.
Oh.
And him without enough flesh to cover his bones.
Oh, sir, isn't it a fine thing? A noble thing in a boy that he thinks of others when he himself is in need.
He's a foolish boy, but he'll get over it.
Sir, perhaps you will not like to hear it, but there is one thing I hope he does not get over.
Well?
That prayer, he says. I cannot tell you what it meant to me to hear him say it. Wherever did he learn such a prayer?
From the Master.
A fine prayer. Very fine indeed. And he's quite a nice boy, your grandson.
So that as though your daddy is my grandson.
Well, I didn't say he wasn't.
You inferred as much?
Oh, no, sir.
He is my grandson?
Well, you have good reason to be proud of him, sir. He's a well-brought-up boy and righteous. Yes, very right, sir.
Enough talk. Show me where we sleep for the night. Let's put the boy to bed.
Oh, yes, sir. This way. Oh, carry him. This way, sir.
Innkeeper.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Is there something I can do for you, sir? More food? More wine, perhaps?
No, but you can tell me something. I noticed you carrying a boy into the common sleeping room a moment ago.
Oh, yes. Tired little fellow. Fell asleep at the table, in fact.
Tell me, do you know that boy's name?
Abner was what the man called.
That's what I thought. I knew that I had seen him before. He is my own town of Cana.
Oh?
But the man he is with, I do not know him.
Really? I tell you, it is strange. I suspect him. He claims the boy's his grandson. But it's difficult to believe. For one thing, they have nothing in common. They're as different as two people can be.
Then what I am thinking may be right.
You think that they're not related? And that the old man has stolen the boy and is making off with him?
The boy is from Cana. I am sure of it. What is he doing here with a stranger?
I begin to understand. Boy with a bright mind, a likable boy. Not such a good price as a slave. So that's what the man is up to.
Well, he will not succeed. Keep watch. Make sure they do not leave here. And I will go to the town elder.
You can depend on me, but hurry. Sir, wake up, sir. There's someone to see you outside.
What do you want? Let me speak.
That's right. It's very important. And please do not let me speak any louder, for I do not wish to wake the boy. Now come, sir.
Someone to see me?
Yes, sir.
Must be a mistake. And I will go out with you.
Yes, sir. Careful in the dark. I didn't wish to light a lamp. It woke the boy, and he seemed so tired.
I will be careful.
The door is right here, sir.
Yes. I see it.
Right out this way, sir.
There. That's the man. See him.
Yeah. But pardon me. You have no right to seize me.
You had better go along, sir.
But I have done nothing wrong.
That will be for the town elder to decide. Now go along.
But the boy, I must not desert the boy.
Don't worry about the boy. I will see that he gets back to Cana and to his mother again.
He is not to go back to his mother again. You don't understand.
The elder will understand. Tell your story to him, if you dare. Now, come along.
You keep saying that you are the boy's grandfather, yet you cannot prove it.
I am.
Tell me, Aaron, have you heard of the boy having a grandfather?
No, sir. I only know that the boy is from Cana. I recognized him at once. And I know that he and his mother are very poor.
True. And I was taking him away from that poverty. You mean you were separating the boy from his mother?
Yes.
Such a statement alone would make me suspicious.
I tell you, it's the truth. The mother gave him up.
Willingly?
Well, I would not say she gave him up willingly, but she did give him up.
And, innkeeper, you say that the two are very unlike each other?
Yes, sir. As different as night and day. They even pray different.
There's no crime in that.
And the boy treats him like a stranger. He doesn't call him grandfather. Now, believe me, if it were not true, I wouldn't say it. After all, what have I to gain? I'm doing myself out of the money he owes me for food and the night's lodging. Would I lie to cost myself money?
Of course not. Well, sir, do you have any proof that the boy is your grandson? Is there anything you can say?
What can I say? What can I show you?
Then we shall have to ask the boy.
The boy? No. No, don't do that.
Why not? Would not the boy know if you're his grandfather?
You don't understand. The boy has no reason to like me. He wants to go back to his mother. He would deny that I'm his grandfather.
Strange that you would not want the boy himself to tell me. It is very suspicious. Well, innkeeper, Aaron, you may go back to the inn. This man will stay here, and I will ponder this thing till morning.
cannot understand. How can anything like this happen to me? I'm an honest man. I've done nothing wrong.
It is morning. We can ask the boy now if you wish.
No. No, I'm trapped. I'm a man at the mercy of people who hate and suspect me. How could this have happened?
I will try to be as lenient with you as I can.
I could not hold him back. He fought like a little tiger. He insisted on coming here even after I promised to take him home to his mother.
So this is the boy?
Yes, sir.
Come here to me, boy.
Yes, sir.
Well, now, lad, there are some questions I had been intending to ask you.
No, don't ask him. I tell you, he will deny me. He wants to go back to his mother. Don't let my fate rest on his answers.
Sir, this man is my grandfather. And I heard what happened to him. I have to come here and tell you.
Abner, you told him. You told him.
One moment, sir. Boy, tell me. Do you say this because of any threats he's made against you, or because you feel he might harm you in any way?
Sir, I tell you, I promised him I would take him back to Canaan, to his mother.
Tell me, boy, don't you want to go back to your mother?
More than anything in the world.
Yet by telling me what you have, I must turn you over to your grandfather. Do you realize that?
Yes, sir. I know that.
And still you insisted on coming here. Why?
I could not let you do any harm to him. Not to any man.
Even though it means that you must go with him to Jericho and live there?
Sir, we have been taught that if someone strikes you on one cheek, you must not strike him back. You must turn your other cheek to him. If a man forces you to go a mile with him, you should go 2 miles. Sir, we try to love those who do wrong to us.
Your mother brought you up this way?
We've often gone to hear the Master teach. And what he teaches, we both believe.
I can see that. Well, the matter is out of my hands now. You may take your grandson and continue on with your journey.
I thank you, sir. Cannot tell you what it means to be free of suspicion again. Now you know what a fine boy my grandson is.
And I know why, too. It is something you might ponder with profit.
You need not think that I am a man without feeling. For I am blind to everything but my own wishes. If I have been, I can tell you that I am no longer that kind of man. You cannot be as frightened as I was, as dependent upon another person's mercy as I was, and forget so easily. It is not so much because of the boy that I am free now, as because of the way his mother raised him.
Then you appreciate that?
I do, indeed. What the boy is, what he does, is all because of the way she raised him. I've hated that woman for a long time, accusing her of separating me from my son, and then from my grandson. It is I who separated this family. I know it. It's all very clear to me now.
Well, in heaven's name, man, do the decent thing.
Go back to Canaan. Bring his mother with us to my home.
Can you do anything else now?
You're right. We will start back for Canaan at once.
Grandfather! Oh, grandfather!
Yes. He called me grandfather. Without any urging, he called me grandfather.
I trust you will continue to deserve that honor. In fact, my friend, I have a feeling that if you give yourself over to these two, your daughter-in-law, your grandson, they may yet make a fine man out of you. For it seems that not all the Master's miracles concern the lame or the lepers. There is a blindness of spirit that he heals too.
Next week on this same station, we will present another episode in the greatest story ever told from the greatest life ever lived. This is the United States Armed Forces Radio Service, the voice of information and education.